Yes.
My name is Raymond.
Wait till you get to the mic, please.
Oh, I apologize. My name is Raymond Lewis Ivy. I come today again. This will be almost 2 years concerning my son, Brian Lamont Johns, which you all know that was found hung March the 19th, 2021 in Carbondale. And I got a letter from the chief of police, Stan Reno, which I appreciated. And the letter was dated December the 27th, 2022. And he said he was responding to some comments me and my then 16-year-old daughter made here on December the 13th, 2022. And he's the city manager. He sent a copy to the city manager, Mr. Gary Williams, and the mayor, Miss Carolyn Harvey, which you all, I'm sure, got the letter. But what my reason for here tonight is to ask Stan Reno in the Carbondale Police Department, can my son get the same treatment that lovely Praveen got? You know, she come down every year. In the beginning, when her son was found in the woods, they declared it that he went in there, stumbling in there, and he was drunk or whatever. He was drinking. And at the time, Stan Reno was the assistant chief, I believe, and he made a statement in the newspaper that there was no foul play. But lovely Praveen and her family had money where they got an autopsy, and they showed that that wasn't true. And a guy 4 years later was tried and convicted, even though the judge threw it out on a technicality. But I'm asking Stan Reno in the Carbondale City Council, I'm asking y'all to give my son that same chance. See, lovely, when she come down, the chief of police, the prosecuting attorney, they get in front of the news. My son's case has never, only reason there was an investigation because my YouTube video. Give me that chance to have a news press conference with the chief of police saying if he had an investigator go look into a lead, that mean that if they don't really believe it was suicide, if you look into a lead, give me the same opportunity, because my son can't speak, to go with Stan Reno in front of the news, because you all control the news. Go in front of the news and have a news press. If anybody in the city of Carbondale or any place else have any information on the death of Brian Lamont Johns, to come forward. If you're scared to give it to the police, give it to the FBI or the Illinois State Police. Also, I'm asking them to look at the female Brittany who claims she found my son T-shirts, the axe in the mask. Look in that apartment where the Indians called. My son had a gash in his hand. The blood had to be somewhere else because it's only a couple of drops. It's not too late. The Indians unmoved. Brittany left out. She was the only two people in that thing that the women's shelter put in there because she was on drugs and she was dealing with drug dealers. I ask y'all, don't let my son's life go in vain just because he was homeless. And I appreciate y'all. If I ever came here and talked with y'all and y'all thought I was disrespectful, I ain't being disrespectful. I don't know if y'all ever lost a son, but that's the reason why I come to where I am. And I asked for a news press conference. Me and the chief, just like they support him, just like they support Michael Vallet. He was a suspect in my son's case. Now he's working for Carbondale United as a violent interrupter. How's that? Thank y'all.
Specifically for you.
Elias Reed, Carbondale resident. About 25 years ago, I knew this person told me he was passing out applications to the young black Carbondale residents to join the Gangster Disciple gang. I tried to figure out what was going on. Somebody told me later on the city of Carbondale would get gang funding if they got a gang in the town. On about 8:30 p.m., 8/31/2021, I saw Carbondale Mayor Mike Henry inside Trains Hombres Bar. He told me that they cannot get a handle on all the shootings. It's a drug war, between Mount Vernon, Cairo, and Carbondale. They're fighting over the Carbondale area. The 8/14/2022 WSIL-TV Channel 3 news article states that Carbondale United received 192,946 gun violence grant from the Illinois Criminal Justice Authority. Carbondale United is one of 148 groups that receive funds, or they are located in a community deemed by the state of Illinois as the hardest hit by the war on drugs. So in order to get this money, you got to have a war on drugs. So some of this stuff is put on, some of these shootings, I think. And SIU is the only college in the United States with 3 unsolved student murders. So when you got unsolved murders, people know they can get away with stuff. You ever heard nothing about the mayor's wife? Mr. Ivy's son wouldn't even report it. Last week, Mr. Ivy called me and said somebody had sent him a video of a large fight in Carbondale. He asked me, I know anything about it. I said, no. He said he'd make a video and send it to me. And he sent me a video that shows blacks fighting, Carbondale police spraying mace, kicking the black female student, and running. I showed the video to a SIU student. She told me it was a fight involved black SIU students doing a house party on Highway 51 South last Saturday night, Sunday morning about 2 o'clock at Suzuki Ponte Apartments. So she told me 2 persons was arrested, but the thing was not reported. When you have stuff like this not reported, people know they can get away with stuff. And a simple solution would have Carbondale Police Park at the 3 or 4 hotspots in Carbondale. Carbondale is not that big. Atticus Park, the 3 or 4 hotspots, just have a Carbondale Police Park there. There was a problem in the Ann Arbor district, and they had the police park there on a regular basis. It's not a problem no more. So that's a simple solution to some of this stuff.
Raymond Lewis Ivy. The first thing I want to do is get some help to the Carbondale Police Department. You know, I live in Charleston, Missouri. You were saying it was
you speak into the mic, please?
The nearest juvenile thing, and I know it's a problem in Charleston too, but it's one closer than an hour and a half away. I don't know if you know the Mississippi County Detention Center. They have an adult part and a juvenile part, which is separate. You know, it's ran by the state, the juvenile department, and that's like about just an hour away. I don't know about the other one in southeast Missouri that you were speaking about. I think you said it was an hour and a half, but the other one is closer than an hour and a half. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is the video that somebody gave me concerning the fight. It's not criticizing the police for macing nor kicking, because I was watching the fight, and the girls was, being pretty rough. It looked like he might have been trying to just disconnect them. But, it ain't reported. Just like when the detective that did the investigation with my son's case, when he talked to the school teacher, he went to the school and talked to her. But when I asked for the information on it, the lady that gives the Freedom of Information Act, she said there's no record of it. You know why there's no record? Because he didn't record it. And if you investigating somebody for spending, you see him on tape spending a dead man's food stamp card, you take her husband down to the police station and you videotape him, but you didn't have nothing on the interrogation with her. I don't think that's fair for my son, because he's dead. But I think that it should be some type of report, because the questions that the detective asked her, and it's not documented, do you think your husband, Michael Vallet, killed Brian, my son, for meth? So it's something wrong with that. Just like that, that should be documented. I should be able to have that. The only thing I go on is what the detective told me out his mouth and what Michael Vallet told me out his mouth. And it's a known fact that Michael Vallet have ties with the prosecuting attorney, because I got taxes where he told me he can give me the prosecuting attorney's phone number, but don't tell him I gave it to you. If you got the prosecuting attorney's phone number and he won't prosecute you for spending my son's food stamp, something wrong. It's something wrong with that whole investigation. But I hope you be able to get them juveniles. I agree with you. Here and a lot of other places, they getting guns, but they getting them from adults. And they getting them from people that don't have criminal records.
Yes, ma'am.